Annyeonghaseyo, 7th graders. Yesterday we had a live stream class with Mr. O about photosynthesis. There were a lot of questions and some confusions about how Mr. O was explaining the actual process of photosynthesis. So I just wanted to take a quick minute to do a review of our photosynthesis review. So to begin, in order for a plant to make one molecule of glucose or sugar, it takes 6 water molecules and 6 carbon dioxide molecules. I built some little models of carbon dioxide and water here for you to see. So on the left with green and blue, that would be carbon dioxide, the green being carbon, and the oxygen being blue, right? So we have carbon, 1 carbon, and 2 blues, CO2. And then on the right, excuse me, we've got 6 water molecules, the yellow being the hydrogen and the blue being oxygen, right? H2, 2 hydrogens, 1 oxygen. And so what happens is that plants use energy from the sun to break the chemical bonds between water and carbon dioxide. Okay, and then so you end up with a bunch of pieces, right? And these pieces are the same as we started with before. Okay, but they're just all broken down into separate bits. And then plants, what they will do next is they'll continue to use energy from the sun to reassemble these pieces into different things. So we took those pieces and we put them together into what we're looking at here. So the thing on the right, and let me go ahead and get my pen working here. This kind of very large thing on the right is 1 molecule of glucose. So the chemical formula for that is C6H12O6. And then on the left we have 6 molecules of oxygen. And so what happens is the plant will keep that molecule of glucose, that sugar, and it'll use that for whatever, for growth. It'll use that to make flowers. It'll use it to repair damaged cells, so on and so forth. And then the oxygen, it just gets rid of that. So one thing to keep in mind when we're talking about photosynthesis is that during this whole process, no atoms are created or destroyed. So in the beginning, we start with 6 carbon dioxide and 6 molecules of water. In the end, we end up with 6 oxygen molecules and 1 molecule of glucose. In between, right, we have the same raw materials. We've got 6 molecules, or 6 atoms rather, of carbon, and we can see that in green. We've got 12 atoms of hydrogen, which we can see in the yellow. We've got 18 oxygen atoms. Okay, you can put those together to make what we have on the left, which is 6 carbon dioxide and 6 oxygen. You can use them to make what we have on the right, which is 1 molecule of glucose and 6 oxygen molecules. So ultimately, this is what the chemical formula for photosynthesis is about. So when we say it's a formula, both sides have to be balanced. You don't end up with more or less molecules from one to the next, right? We have the same number of molecules, they just change, they transform. Okay, so here we have the chemical formula for photosynthesis. If you have any questions about this, please contact Mr. O at hoh1@sejongacademy.org. You can also hit me up at sjkwok@sejongacademy.org. Hopefully just kind of going over this and looking at those blocks being taken apart and put back together into different things will help you understand what we're talking about when we talk about chemical formulas. And it's just really important to keep in mind that the reactants that you have in the chemical formulas, they're going to create products at the end, but ultimately those raw materials, all those atoms, they're not going to change. They're going to stay the same. They just transform into something different. Okay, thank you, and hopefully this helped out.